You don't have to hold it the whole time. This toast takes the form of a story. A story about a man and a woman who came together and birthed a new clan, a clan of king and queens. But let's not start at the end with these, the king and queens, but rather at the beginning. When our great nation was in its infancy, in the flickering candlelight of a primitive hospital, a child was born. His name, Ronald Stephen Gore. Hard facts are scarce, ink writing having only recently been adopted. But according to the oral tradition passed down from his mother, Ronald was able to talk and walk by age 1 month.
That sounds like
I thought it was a week.
His early childhood was incredible. He lived through some traumatic events. Economic depression, war, and Mamanette's cooking. Many years later, and all the way around the world, like all the way, such that you've come back to about 10 miles from where you started, Martin and Helen Miller had a child of their own, a girl.
There she is.
Her name, Nancy Ruth Miller. A beautiful baby, she was quickly swaddled in a quilt made out of treasury bills and taken to her home in Silver Spring. A gifted artist from a very early age, Nancy lived a rich childhood filled with creativity, friendship, and only the occasional 89-hour lecture from her father about what's wrong with maps of Israel's West Bank.
What's wrong with what?
Ronald and Nancy lived so close to one another and yet so far.
And yet so far.
They never met. Perhaps it was the vast difference in age that Mom always wants us to remember. Maybe it was because they came from such different places. One, a child of middle-class Jews who worked for the government. The other, a child of middle-class Jews who worked for the government. Anyhow, time passed. College was invented. Ronald departed for Swarthmore, where he got not only a fine education, but lived in a dorm room with several animals, including a skunk. Some would consider that skunk his greatest teacher. Nancy went to the University of Pennsylvania, which according to factcheck.org is still considered an Ivy League school. There she thrived as a student and an artist. Once again, Ronald and Nancy were within miles of one another, and yet they did not meet. Fate played her cruel game. Time much moved forward again. The concept of bartering was invented.
They were there at the same time?
For 1 year, right?
In that area, yeah.
I mean,
And they're 4 years apart.
3 years in school, Mom skipped. I was going to put that in the toast. Ronald and Nancy both went to grad school in Boston. Still, they did not meet. More time passed. The world was introduced to pizza. They moved to Washington, D.C. We're almost done. And then it happened. Ronald called Nancy's roommate for a blind date, and Nancy answered the phone. They spoke for 4 hours. Nancy doodled Mrs. Nancy Gore on her memo pad. Ronald doodled a picture of a sword and a zigzag thing. He was not a great doodler, but that didn't matter. Because on March 12th, 1967, just 2 weeks after that call, they were married.
Amazing.
At last, fate had brought them together. Their long solo journeys had ended, and they were united. And we are so grateful they were. Both Ronald and Nancy, Mom and Dad, Grandma and Grandpa, Pampa, and Nana. We're extraordinary individuals, but together they are even more. Smart and creative, curious and passionate, interested and interesting. They have written books, made movies, founded insect zoos, singular. Together, they made Alex and me, and perhaps their greatest acts. What many call the only thing they've done worth mentioning.
Especially their sons.
But also everyone else. We are lucky that you overcame the 11.4 miles that separated you and found one another. We're lucky you overcame the differences in your background and fell in love. We're lucky Mom's roommate was out. And we're lucky you are our parents, and Zoe and Mila's, and Julian and Vivi's grandparents. We love you. Here's the first 50 years of marriage.
Yay!
And there'll be 2 more sets at 50. 2 more.
150 years of marriage.